Hi everyone, my name is Myra. So here's my story. I have three characters total: Ramona, John, and Ava, which comes up at the very end. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. Ramona and John grew up together in a low/middle class neighborhood until Ramona's dad got a new job. Ramona's family had to move to a new town. Ramona was able to reconnect though later with John after 5 years of being away. They reunited at a local coffee shop that was in Ramona's town, where they had grown up. After talking and catching up, they began discussing their classes because they had just finished their first year of college. They realized that they both took Intro to Chicano Latino Studies at their own different schools, and they decided to just talk about the differences of what they learned. And Ramona brought up the term Hispanic. John was not sure what the difference between Hispanic and Latino was, so Ramona tried to break it down as simply as she could for him. She said Hispanic is a person who comes from a Spanish-speaking country. Latino is a person who has Latin American descent. She also explained that Latino can be seen as Latinx, with the X instead of the O or A at the end, to be gender inclusive. And then once John felt more comfortable in understanding the terms, Ramona remembered that her professor always brought up the topic of the Spanish-speaking world. Well, they had class discussions, and she admitted to John that she never really fully understood what the professor meant by that. Fortunately, John did understand this. He explained to Ramona that the Spanish-speaking world was essentially and basically Latin America because the people there spoke Spanish. Ramona realized that she was just overthinking the concept. Both Ramona and John began talking about colonization and how they were frustrated with the history of it. They were mad that the Spanish Empire was invaded in such ways and that they could not do anything about it because they were just learning about the history. They shared the same feelings as they had when they had learned about this in each of their college courses. This then led them to the term filibusters. This was a term they both understood. John mentioned that he learned what the term meant by when his classmate described it in different words. John's friend said the filibusters were like people who came into your home, took over your stuff, and didn't let you back in. Ramona said that she thought about it in the same way, and she remembered the content better when it was described in more simple terms. Right when they were about to get up and leave, someone overheard their conversation and chimed in. The person said their name was Ava, that she was sorry for eavesdropping, but she was very curious to know if Ramona and John knew about mayorazgos. John had not ever heard the word before, but Ramona said she had only been familiar with it, but she still wasn't sure what it was. John asked Ava if she could describe it a bit more before they left. Even Ava said that mayorazgos was, for example, when land is granted by the Spanish Empire to people in their own land. And then John and Ramona thought this was interesting because they hadn't heard about it before. So they thanked Ava for sharing that with them. So since they were at a coffee shop, they were about to close, and they walked out together, exchanged contact info, and the rest was history.